hoping to land. Roll with the universe, go with the plan. Meteor shower, I'm making it rain. Counting my blessings like grains of sand. Counting the weight to make a band. But the money don't make a man. Sanitize, I shake your hand. Capitalize when you take your land. Enterprise, they don't understand. I am the business, I am the brand. Using my hands, I am a man. Using my mind, I'm making a stand. Hearing them talk, not giving a damn. They told me I couldn't, they told me I can't. Making my mark, I'm leaving my stamp. I'm holding it down like gravity. Floating like a star, so you know that I'll never come down. Just wanna be free. Watch me rotate as the world spins round and round. We blame the gravity. Hold me down to the ground. Gravity got me spinning round and round, round and round. Making the move, playing the part, flowing the groove, I move like a shark. I can see niggas is faking their art. Honestly, dog, is breaking my heart. Game of the life, I'm playing it smart. Eyes on the prize, I aim like a dart. They're hating together, I'm standing apart. Watching my growth, look at my chart. This is my art, this is my soul. The things that I've seen, you don't even know. The pain that I carry is helping me grow. The things that I heard, the lies that were told. Letting it flow, the tears that I shed. Voices I hear, the fears in my head. Harvest the garden, I'm counting my bread. I'm living the dream, I'm sleeping, I'm dead. Gravity. Floating like a star, so you know that I'll never come down. Just wanna be free. Watch me rotate as the world spins round and round. We blame the gravity. Hold me down to the ground. Gravity got me spinning round and round, round and round. Gravity. All right, we are here. Hold on a second. Turn off my own music here. Okay, yeah, we're here. What's up? This is the Heat Check. We are live. I'm your boy, Jaron Ikner, multimedia artist extraordinaire. This is episode 3 of the new Heat Check series. I used to do this back in the day. I wasn't going to call it season 3, but this is kind of a new vibe. We're doing this Nero thing. This is all new. This is new shit. Anyways, for those of you who don't know who I am, which most of you don't, I am a multimedia artist from Phoenix, Arizona, and I specialize in all forms of media, from videos, films, TV, music. I put out 8 studio albums, including my recent one, Wishes Are Never Perfect, which you can find in the comments or in the description. I have movies that I've written for Phoenix New Times, and I've done review shows before. This is not my first one. So a lot of people value my opinion, and after enough time, I decided, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and bring back the Heat Check, because I realized at the end of the day that, like, I think the main reason why you're seeing a rise of, like, Nero and stuff like that is because I think it's getting harder and harder for artists to be heard. And not only be heard, but, like, have honest, real feedback and opinions from someone who actually cares about the music. And I think it's getting more and more important, like shows like these. I know there's a bunch of other people doing that. Shout out to Curtis King and Jane Lee, and then a couple of local homies. You know, you got like my homie Brandon Beck and people like that. Bunch of people who are doing this right now. So I think it's extremely important for people to be heard. And that's mostly what I'm trying to do here, is give a platform for artists to be heard and be seen and be, you know, fucked with a little bit, because I think that's like what's about. Anyways, so if this is your first time at the Heat Check, I know we have a couple of, let me see here. We have a couple of return people. I see a lot of familiar names here, but there's a lot of new people here. So if you're new here to the Heat Check, keep in mind that, you know, basically the way that this works is that I will be listening to your music for at least 30 seconds. If I like it, I will continue to listen to it, or I'll give some feedback. If your song is AI, if you submit AI to this show, I will call you out. I'm not going to pretend that it's not AI. I'm going to say that it's AI. It's going to be a big ass disclaimer. It could be embarrassing. So if you submitted AI and I know it, that's just a warning. So far we have like, let's see.
Making sure I have all my tools here. Yeah. So far we have, I think, like 15, 16 submissions so far, which is solid. Last time we got like 42, and we ended up with 42 because people were submitting as the show was on. That's a lot. And it ended up being like 3 hours. I don't mind doing 3 hours, but, you know, we'll see how it goes. If we get more and more people, we'll keep listening. I'm going to try to listen to every single song that's submitted to the show. But then also, too, if you want to not wait 3 hours, at this point, this is probably like, I don't know, hour and a half. If you don't want to wait that long, use the skip feature. There's only one skip. You know what I'm saying? You'll get your music heard immediately, and you can move on. You can move on and do your thing. Anyways, let me do one more thing before we get into this, and that's going to be share this to my social media, my Facebook account, so people know on my Facebook that this is happening. Otherwise, a lot of crazy stuff going down last week. We had the Grammys yesterday. You had Kendrick Lamar breaking crazy records. You had Chapel Roan with the nipple dress thing. And, you know, Grammys are always an interesting time. I think that's a very interesting award show, to say the least, because it's supposed to be based off of, like, a lot of... It's supposed to be based off of merit, but honestly, it's kind of like a popularity contest because of the voting system, et cetera, so forth. I'm not going to get into it. We're not here to talk about the Grammys. I was just trying to kill the time while I share this link to my YouTube. All right, we're going to go ahead and get into this, though. Let me see. Hold on. We live. Okay, boom. Share that right there. Bibbidi boppity. All right, so like I said, we have currently 15 songs on here, I believe. And the first one is going to be Rock, Rock, Rock by Season in the Sun, who submitted last week. They had a really cool song last week. I really enjoyed their song last week. So I'm expecting dope stuff. They used the skip feature, so if you're here waiting for your stuff and you're wondering why you're not going first, it's because they used the skip feature. So shout out to them for that. One thing I forgot to mention, too, is the bonus. So there's not a lot of people in the chat right now. We'll see if that changes. But if we hit 5 super chats, I think I said it for $5, I will bust a freestyle. I need to practice anyways. I got a show this Friday, so, you know, we'll see what we come up with. But my freestyling game is not that great. I'm a better writer than a freestyler. I digress. Digression. All right, so let's get into this first track. This is Rock, Rock, Rock by Season in the Sun. You are listening to The Heat Check. Let's get it. Skeet. Let's see. Bet.
Ha. Yeah. One time. Okay, we rock with the bass and the treble. Gonna take this shit into another level, bitch. Devil with the microphone, lone wolf killer shit. Ice cold with the flow, no refrigerant. Get your body moving, never lose a present moment. Put the phone down, homie, cause tomorrow ain't promise. Got the homies in the back.
Okay, so far I really like the beat. I love the driving bass. I'm a big fan of driving bass. I have a EDM background. I started off as a drum and bass MC. And so I always appreciate bass that, like, songs that are like kind of bass oriented. And this one has like that driving doom 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 doom. I love that. I love that so far. The flow's alright. I think that so far the flow is cool in terms of just like appreciating the beat. Like he's rapping on the beat as I would expect someone to rap on this beat. He's not doing anything super crazy or like double time or anything. He's just kind of just riding the wave right now.
And the trap on the speakers. She said she love it, but you know I ain't believe her. Feeling fly as fuck, dressed to the nines. I got a dime on the side, plus the one of them wits. I'll ride or die, so I try to get her back to the crib to get a crate. The mushy chocolates got the room feeling wavy. I'm a vibration resonating on the top frequencies, attracting love from the people that surrounding me. Take a trip knowing I'm a road in the vessel. So we rock with the bass and the treble like rock, 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 rock. With the bass and the treble like rock,
I think this song has a lot of sync licensing potential. Like, this is a song that I would probably hear like in a movie trailer or like a TV show or like the guys like driving. I think the lyrics, because the reason why I say this is because the lyrics aren't like crazy impressive, but they do what they need to do, in the sense that the lyrics are, you know, thematic. They have a theme around them. You know, it's this whole song about songs, this whole song about music. And so in my head, I think that if you put this in a sync licensing library and like submit this somewhere, you might be surprised at what you might get out of that. Just because when it comes to being like music supervisors and people looking for music for the movies, they oftentimes will look for songs based off of the genre. Your song's called rock, right? And even though the song is not a rock song, it's like a hip hop song, I think that might work out to your advantage. That's like where my head goes to. I think like I said, the flow is all right, lyrics are all right. I like the beat the most out of everything that I've heard so far. Listen to a little bit more here.
Clock, got the time, I got the memo. Season in the sun and we're coming on. Tempo before you lay it on top with the seasoned instrumental, with a dose of hip hop and some funky heavy metal.
See that right there? I like the second verse. I like the vocals of whoever's rapping there. Like, they have a really cool tone, the way that's like this. I don't know how even to describe it, honestly, but I like the vocal tones of the song. And the bars are a little bit better, but they're also still in this like kind of like, I don't want to use the word generic, but like stereotypical bubble of lyrics. The song's called Rock, rapping about bass and treble and music, which is fine. Like I said, I'm not expecting you to come out here like Kendrick Lamar or Eminem or something like that. I think the song's doing what it needs to do, which is why I think the lane for this would be like a sync licensing lane. I think that you would make a bunch of money off of this. We'll listen a little bit more.
The bag with my scooty straight chillin', stealing all these shots in the story. I'm the villain, like I'm the Joker, you the Batman. Bad vibes are garbage, we just throw them in the trash can. Back at the crib, dripping the Riz, hitting the switch, I'm pleading the fifth. Bubbles and fish, shout out to Grizz. Got a good mind, they give you a kiss like earthquake shit. Follow me now, rolling spliff, say you can call me Monty. Got that real name, Chris. And we be rocking you all night like our real name, Kiss. And from the front to the back, we got you on that list. Oh yeah.
I really enjoy the production of the song quite a bit. I think that the production of the song is pretty good, very good actually. I think that's my favorite part of the song. I think I already said that before, but I think that overall the song, like I said, it's the other song that you submitted last week. I definitely liked a lot better than this song, but I'm not mad at this song. I think this song it still shows your skill set. Still shows that you guys know how to write a beat. Still shows that you know how to, make a solid beat, solid production. I'm not mad at this track at all. I just don't like it as much as the other song, but it's a good song. There's a music video too. I should have put the music video on, but you sent the link for that. I would have watched the music video, which may have enhanced it if I had watched the music video. I don't know. I think that overall, like I said, I'm gonna keep listening to a little bit more while I try to promote this a little bit more. And give my assessment, because you dropped that skip, so we're listening to the whole thing. Let's do it. While it's pretty sick, I don't need to hear the whole guitar outro. I got the gist of the song. So yeah, I think overall, I think the song serves a purpose. I think that this song actually, compared to the other song that you submitted last week, I think this song actually might do more for you in terms of like having you reach new audiences and new masses. Because like I said, I think this song will work very well in a. I think somebody even mentioned it in the comments. They said in like a GTA cinematic. Like that's exactly like kind of what the like a video game cutscene, or even like a commercial, or like a movie, a trailer. That's what the song vibe gives me. Like if a rock climbing company wanted to promote their company and they went to sync licensing and got a song called Rock, 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 your song might pop up and it might get you paid. In terms of me liking the song, I don't like it as much as the other song, but I don't hate the song. That's my word. So shout out to Season of the Sun. They used the skip feature. If you want to skip the line, hit that skip feature at Nero.fan/Jaron Ikner. This is the heat check. We're going to keep it moving. Let's see here. Up next is Reminisce by Hakeem Azmi. He has a little thing here. It says, everyone faces their own hardships every day, be it stress from work, losing their loved ones, or other personal problems. I am just an artist who strives to make everyone's day a little better through making a chill, ambient, lo-fi music, which I aim to allow them to take a step back and reminisce whatever good things and times they have so they would feel better. That's beautiful. Okay, let's listen to that. So, you're listening to the Heat Check. This is Hakeem Azmi with Reminisce. So lo-fi is always a tricky genre because there's such like a wide range of like lo-fi that you can do, to where you have like more like boom bap, like new Nujabes, like that type of like really intricate lo-fi, and then you have like more like, I don't know, like tranquil lo-fi. This is more synth-based lo-fi, and I don't want to like throw around the letters, those magic letters, A and I, but I've actually made quite a bit of lo-fi in my day. In fact, I tried to use AI once to make a lo-fi channel back in the day. I'm not going to tell you what the channel is. But what I'm saying is that the construction of the synths on this song and how they're put together are very procedural. There's a very procedural sound to it. Let's listen to a little bit more. Okay, so I think the guitar solo there could be real. I think that's authentic because it's a little sloppy, which works to his advantage in this situation. However, one of the tricky things about making lo-fi music, at least in my efforts when I try to make it using AI, I use it making AI before, and I use it making regular tools that I use to make most of my music. with AI, for the most part, one of the weakest categories that AI has when it comes to making music is the drums. Especially hip hop drums. Like, it hasn't quite figured out how to do authentic hip hop drums that sound natural, like someone is padding them out. As a result, they sound very procedural, and these drums sound very procedural, as do some of the synths. Like I said, the guitar solo sounds natural, and overall, like, it's cool. I think that the mixing could be a little bit better, because that guitar comes in super loud. If you listen to it again, hold on a second. Yeah, I mean, I'm not mad at this song. It's cool. I do think that there was some AI involved, like which honestly, like, and this is like a disclaimer, like, if I'm over here calling your stuff AI, that's like almost like a backhanded compliment, in the sense that, like, if your stuff is not AI and I call it AI, then that means that your stuff is sounding really good, just suspiciously good. You know what I'm saying? Or you're utilizing it in a way that, like, is painfully obvious, and this is like that category where, like, someone like said, this is only because I've used it so much, and so many I've been fucking with AI for like since it dropped, like 4 or 5 years. And so, like, I can identify, like, similar sounds. And I think the thing that stood out the most to me were the drums, and then, like, the progression in the chords of the synths. The guitar sounds natural. But that plus the mixing and a lot of things, it just makes this a little bit lackluster. But, you know, whatever. John Batten in the house, he says, are we counting virtual instruments in the virtual drummer that comes with recording programs? That's a good question. It's half AI. How about that? I don't know. I don't have a full answer for you on that one. But any tool that generates sounds without human interaction, I would consider to be like a machine learning AI thing. So if you're generating sounds and then using those, because, like, this is actually how I try to implement AI, is that I use AI to generate samples, ideas, etc., so forth, and then I chop them up and use them in, like, my own production when I make stuff, and that's fine. I mean, to me, because I do it, right? But I digress. I'm gonna keep it moving because we got more songs coming in. This next track is JJ and the Twister Man by Bry Diggs. Comment says, cool thing you're doing here. Let's get it, JJ and the Twister Man. Y'all are listening to the Heat Check. We are live. I tried going live on Instagram. That's why if you try to get in earlier, it got all fucked up because, like, for some reason the Instagram crashed OBS. I'm digging this so far. I think there is some, when I'm reading your profile, you say you're a solo multi-instrumentalist. So you're doing everything yourself, which is pretty cool because it sounds like a full band for sure. So, I mean, your name is JJ and the Twister Man. So I wonder, like, how deep that goes. Is this like a multiple personality kind of vibe? Oh, there's more names on here though, unless you're Brian. I don't know. Anyways, what I'm saying is that so far you do have a skill set in the lane of music, and it's a good one so far. I'm digging this. So I was actually just talking with my best friend today about the Gem and Jam show, which is like this popular kind of like hippie, organic festival that happens in Tucson, Arizona every year. And it's built around the Gem and Mineral Show, where you have all these people coming across the town, across the country, who sell minerals, gems, rocks. And typically they're hippies and they all go to the Gem and Jam show and they hang out. The reason why I bring this up is because I feel like that's where this music fits. It's almost like this hippie vibe out music. It's a little fast for that, but I mean, that's like kind of the vibes that I get so far. I think that you're showing a lot of talent. I'm curious to know like when, where, and how you recorded this, because the recording's a little rough. Like I'm wondering if this is like a live recording maybe. If it's live, it's sick. Let me keep listening here. So yeah, this is like the kind of music that like this song would be like 12 minutes long in the live version, and you would just like jam out like with the instrumentals just like kind of going off. I think the vocals work. I think like everything is pretty decent. Like I'm not upset at this song. I think that you show a lot of talent. Bri Diggs, I think that you should be trying to play more live shows if you don't already. If you do that, make sure you get your BMI and your ASCAP up, you know what I'm saying? So you can get them checks when you are playing live. I think that you fit in right in with like that, like, I can't think of other artists in that lane off the top of my head, but like Revolution or like not Slightly Stupid, but maybe like a little bit of that, like almost like the stoner hippie kind of lane. That's where I envisioned this song to be. And it might not be anywhere near what you actually do, but that's just the vibes that I get from the song. So anyways, thank you for submitting. We're going to keep it moving. This is the heat check and we are live. Trying to keep this toy like a toiga, because we're already 30 minutes in. So this next track is called Follow, Native with 2 I's, and Judgment. The description says one of the latest tracks featured on my promo channel. That's what's up. So let's see what's going on here. So I got my whole little setup over here. I got my medicines and my teas and my waters. If you see me pop off screen, I'm trying to avoid content ID strike. All right, here we go. This is, I got this shit on mute. Here we go. This is a deep house track. I really like this so far. So I like this a lot so far. I'm trying to do a little bit of research to see what your game is here. Like I said, I have an EDM background, so I do appreciate house music quite a bit. I'm not mad at this. Matter of fact, I really dig this so far, but I'm just trying to make sure I'm not getting duped in the world of AI. But no, you're a real person. He's got real photos and real pictures and real stuff like that. And he's out here doing it big, putting out a lot of music. I fuck with this track so far. So let's listen to a little bit more. This is once again Deep House. Oh, sorry. Follow, Native, and Judgment. I'm not sure who does what. There's vocals on here. Yeah, I like this track. I think what makes a good EDM track, at least like a deep house track, especially if you're gonna do vocals, is one, compelling lyrics, but also just good progression. But this track has really good progression. I just wonder if there's an area in this song for a drop. It's only 3 minutes, so we'll keep listening to it. Oh yeah, good, because I think that every EDM song, like every EDM song, whether it's drum and bass, well, if you're doing like happy hardcore, I guess you don't necessarily need this, but every song within the BPM between 130 and like 165, 170, maybe a little bit higher, needs an area of the song where the song can breathe, where you have no drums and you have a place where like things kind of slow down a little bit. And there's two major reasons. There's a bunch of reasons, but two big ones. Reason number one is because if you're trying to like get the crowd going, et cetera, so forth, you might need a place where you need to like chill for a second. You know what I'm saying? Because if you're just dropping the beat, boom, 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 for like 3 hours straight in a mix, it's gonna be kind of overbearing. So that's why these parts are important, where you let the song breathe for a little bit. And then secondly, on the same tip, if you're a DJ and you want to mix songs, right? You want to have an area of one of the songs that doesn't have any drums on it, so to allow for a better mix and a better drop, and for a more intense drop. Because if you do it right, you time it right, then you might get the beats to drop at the same time, which allows for bigger drums. There's a whole science to it. So I always look for that part in songs. I think that's something that more amateur producers tend to, like, they miss out on, is that area where the song breathes. They think that it should keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, which it should, but there should be like a quick reprieve for at least a couple bars where the song can breathe. And that's what this part is right here. Word, I'm going to give you, well, this is not your page. I'm not sure if this is your page, Tune Emporium or not. But I'm going to follow that page, and I'm going to follow your Spotify account. I'm not going to add this onto the playlist because I don't really do EDM. Well, I guess I could. We'll see. Hold on a second. I don't think the song is on your Spotify page, though. Follow. No, it's right here. Bet. Yeah, I'll throw it on here for a little bit. I'm not sure how long it will stay up for, because my playlist is not EDM. But I like the song. I think you did a pretty good job on this song overall. I'm also going to follow you on Spotify as well. Tight. This is the Heat Check. We are live. We are on track 5 out of 15. This track is seemingly called I. Just the letter I. And it's submitted by Gino. So let's see what this is about here. Cool. Here we go. Very interesting so far. Very interesting. The profile says that this artist Gino is an independent electronic producer based in Italy. Lit. This has like cinematic vibes. I see this in like almost like a chase movie, or sorry, a chase scene in a movie so far. That's what I think of right now. Listen to a little bit more here. Some interesting production going on here. Like I'm listening to this with headphones on, and you got a little bit of pans going on here. You got some good spatial recognition when it comes to like where you're placing your synths versus like the drums and stuff like that. This is clean so far. I'm not upset at this right now. This is pretty solid production. In terms of like, I wonder what this guy does, Giorgi Rubini. I might do some research while I'm listening to this a little bit more. Hold on a second. Cool. Yeah, really, there's a lot of Giorgio Rubinis out there. With that said, this is like, so like there was already like a submission earlier with the lo-fi, but this is the type of music that I would turn into like a YouTube channel. Like I would take songs like this song is like 5 minutes long, and we're listening to 2.5 minutes. There may be more. We might skip ahead a little bit, but I feel like if you took like a bunch of these songs and stringed them back to back to back and made it like, you know, several hours long or whatever, set up an OBS or just post the videos or just post the tracks individually, you might hit a lane with like ambient movie soundtracks. Because there's a lane for that. There's definitely a lane for that. There's almost like a lane, like, this is the thing about making money as a musician, especially on YouTube, is that there's always a lane for just about everything in every type of music. Like if you just like strum the guitar, you can make a channel of guitar music and just call it like, I'm not sure if you do 10 hours, but you know, like 2 hours of me playing guitar, you could fall asleep to or study to, or you know what I'm saying? Like there's so many lanes, like so many different niches in that lane alone, and this would be another one of those niches where it's like, you know, ambient movie soundtrack music, and you have, you know, 30 of these songs to string together that runs for like 3 hours that you can monetize if done correctly. That's just a thought though. I like the song. It's interesting. Interesting use of the drums. because the drums are like the driving force of the songs, like this doom 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 doom. Love it. Good stuff. All right, so whoa. Let's keep it moving. This next track is called Mart by Neon Corpse Parade. So when I hear a name called Neon Corpse Parade, it makes me think that this is going to be like a hardcore rock band with a name like that. Am I going to be right? I don't know. We'll see. But that's just what I feel when I hear that name.
Something's wrong, I feel it breathe in the space between my thoughts. Every step I take feels leaves like I'm owned by what I lost. Hear you chanting in my sleep, tongue like fire.
Love the voice. The voice is dope. Very reminiscent of like Stained, Creed, Nickelback. That's like what I first envisioned. And then the production so far is actually more in line with like some like early Imagine Dragons type shit. That's what I'm getting so far.
Fire slow and deep. I don't believe in anything, but you're making me. I can taste the dirt you threw. I can feel the knot you tied. Every mirror shows the truth. Something else is in my eye. You put something on me, I feel it crawl. You put something on me.
I like the lyrics. Very good writing. Yeah, I like the lyrics so far. Good pen, whoever is the writer on this song.
I hear your call. I scratch my skin till I bleed. Still can't get free. Put something on me, and it won't let me be. Handshake when the daylight hits, like the sun knows what I've done. Heartbeat drums inside my ribs, out of time, out of blood. Every prayer comes back wrong. Every road feels bent and closed. I don't know where I belong, but I know I'm not alone. Every shadow knows my name. Every candle burns for me. If it's just inside my brain, why does it hurt so physically? You put something on me, I feel it crawl. You put
So the more I listen to the song, the less I like it. Now, it's not because it's a bad song, but even as I was like looking them up and like kind of like listening to it, like not like passively, but like without like listening to the intricacies of it, it almost felt like the kind of song that you would hear in like a truck commercial, like a Ford Ram. Now, it's not a bad thing. I'm not dissing that, but I think because at first when I heard the beat and the voice, I was like, oh, this is interesting. You have like this Imagine Dragons Scott Sapp situation going on. But then as the drums started kicking in, the song started to progress. It was like, okay, it started to feel a little bit more pushing towards like the average / generic category, just in terms of the overall sonic vibe. But that's what I'm saying. When I was listening closely to the lyrics are really, really good. The mix is great. There's nothing really wrong with this song, but I'm just like, I'm trying to be honest. Like, I guess, I don't know, like, it's just like the vibe shifted from like, interesting to like, this is a song that I would hear on a Ford F-150, F-750 with some guys saying Built Ford Tough. And I think it's mostly the beat that gives that vibe. It's not the lyrics. The lyrics are pretty deep. Like there's some interesting stuff happening on the lyrics that I enjoy. I think it's the production. Maybe that's me being a hater. It just like, yeah, someone said in the comments, like, this is straight out of a Borderlands intro. Like, yeah, it's like, or like a TV show that involves cowboys in the West, or like something like that. Those type of shows. What's that show? Yellowstone. Like some Yellowstone type beat. That's what this is. Like some Yellowstone type beat. And that's not a bad thing. It's not my favorite kind of music, but I think that this song hits the marks in every other category. I think the writing is solid. I think that the beat is clean. I think the vocals are great. They did a good job recording it. The song is great. But I don't know, there seems to be a theme tonight with a lot of these songs, like where I'm like, you should just go towards sync licensing with this song. This is another song that I would be like, hey, send this to whoever, I don't know, who's doing the best sync licensing right now, but send this to them and let them have this in their library, and you might be surprised at what happens with that. But that was, what's the name of the band? Neon Corpse Parade. That's who that was, Neon Corpse Parade. So make sure you check them out. Cool name. Like I said, I thought they were going to be like a hardcore rock band with a name like that, but they were not. They were, I actually don't even know what to call that genre. Just rock, just like contemporary rock. Like I said, the vibes were Imagine Dragons meets Creed on the vocals and the way that was put together. So, anywho, let's keep it moving. At this point, we're about halfway through, which is good. Unless more people submit, which, feel free to do so. But I like to keep these under 2 hours if possible. 3 hours at the most if things are just cracking and we're in the vibe and we're just flowing. But I think overall, I think that we like 15 to 20 songs per episode is good. Because I don't want to like get to the point where I'm feeling like I'm rushing through songs or that I'm feeling like I rush. I want to give people like as much feedback as possible without like feeling like, okay, on to the next one, on to the next one. I'm saying I want to be like, I want to give like pretty much all the feedback I can for each song until I don't have any more feedback, instead of being like, oh, that's good, that's good. So we'll see. But like I said, future shows, if we have like 90, we might go for it. We'll see. Anyways, the next song that is up is called Sun Comes Around. Sun Comes Around by Audio Gears. There's a little description here. It says, I wrote this 10 years ago and I used AI for the final production. I appreciate the honesty. So I won't even listen for the AI, but let's listen for what you're trying to do with the pen. Got snacks and shit. I like the lyrics so far, but I wonder, Audio Gears, I'm not sure if you're in the chat or not, or if you're going to watch this video at any point in time. What's stopping you from recording this song yourself? Like, the use of AI is interesting because obviously you said that you wrote this song. So my guess is that you took these lyrics. I'm not sure if you wrote the melody. Maybe you didn't write the melody. Maybe you didn't have a melody and you just put it into here to see what will come out of it. But I'm curious to know why you don't record it yourself, or if you don't find an artist. Because I think once again, since AI keeps coming up in these conversations, once again, I'm not against the usage of AI in a variety of different ways. Like whether it's like getting inspiration or like getting samples or like creating new versions of songs, things like that. I think those are all actually interesting and compelling ideas and ways to use AI. What I don't like is vocal replacement. Like the idea that somebody else is singing your song because for whatever reason. Matter of fact, I'm going through this exact situation right now where I wrote a song and I wrote the song, I sang the song that I wrote on my FL Studio or whatever, and then I put it through Suno and I changed the voice into a female and it gave me back the version, pretty much the same exact song, just with female vocals on it. And now I'm like, cool, I gotta find myself a female vocal artist. I could just put out the song with the AI vocals on it, right? But it doesn't quite feel right. I'd rather just go find a singer to sing it. And so, I'm wondering, Audio Gears, if you're in a similar situation where you can't find singers, or maybe you're an introvert and you're just like doing this as a bedroom thing, so you're just kind of like putting music out there. Because I like the pen. I like your lyrics. I just think that this is the why to it, right? Like, what's the why behind it? Let's listen to a little bit more here.
To turn around this fate you found, turn it around, and you're this little star I've got. See you around when the sun goes back down, when the sun comes around.
Okay. So I see that you responded and you said that you wrote the melody, chorus, lyrics, but honestly you just don't have the time. Busy job, children, and also don't have the vocal talent, etc. Introvert too, yes. Cool. I'm not opposed to that, but I guess the issue that I have is that you did release this on Spotify. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, it'd be different if you had sent me like a SoundCloud link or like you uploaded it directly, but you put it out on Spotify because I don't think, sorry, I'm seeing John, I don't think Neon Quartz Parade is AI because I can find some of their music right here and I'll post it in the comments. So this is not the song that they posted. I mean, they could be AI. If so, they have me fooled, but there's a record label that has them signed. And now I'm not sure this is the same Neon Corpse Parade. Like if they just stole the name from somebody, but they do have music on Bandcamp. So sorry, what I was gonna say though is that like, so you did put out the music though on Spotify. So I guess my question is like, what's the goal, right? So if you clearly have talent with the pen. You wrote the melody. The melody is strong. You wrote the chords. You wrote the lyrics. And you don't have the time, but you had time to do all that. I understand that like making music is like, it's trust me, I understand. But I also know that there's like even like right now in this thread, there's probably somebody who's down to collab with you, or you could use Fiverr. I just don't think you should throw all your chips into the AI pot, is what I'm trying to say. Is that like, I understand that you have these songs in your head that you want to get heard and you think that AI is going to be a shortcut to that. And I think that you might be right to a degree, but I think at the same time, it's one of those things where you, even if you can't sing like vocally, I would rather, oh, you're right. No, I didn't read that right. No, you might be right. They could be AI. That'd be kind of sad, right? Because I got fooled. My AI ear is fucking maybe. I don't know. I'm gonna do a little bit more research later, but let me see something real quick. Making me go back in the queue real quick. We'll look later. We'll look later. Anyways, I got to keep this going. But you might be right. Neon Corpse Parade could be AI. So we'll find out. We'll find out. So we'll do an investigation later on that. Because they didn't even like submit like a Spotify link or a YouTube page. They literally just submitted it directly to the Nero app. So, anyways, I digress. Going back to what we were talking about with audio gears, I would much rather hear your imperfect vocals than the AI's shitty vocals. The AI vocals sound good, but they're still not real, right? And I think that's like one of the beautiful things about being a musician is like hearing your raw, authentic voice being manifested through the music. Even if you can't sing, I'd much rather hear that than a robot who sings it good, better than you, quote unquote. That's just my thought. Anyways, I'm gonna keep moving. I'm sure there'll be more talks about AI later on. This next song is called Ain't No Better Feeling by Matt Cabalon. Oh, Cabalon? Yeah, Cabalon. Sorry. It's fucking up people's names. This is the Heat Check. We're live. Feel free to submit your music at Nero.com/Jaron Ikner.
Some say it's getting late, but the night feels young. Is it the way we laughed or the songs we've sung? The world outside can fade away.
Your vocals are very, very forward. Like, and once again, I'm not an engineer when I give mixing advice. I'm just telling you what I hear. When I hear the vocals, like, they almost sit on top of the beat instead of in the beat. And then also, like, the bass on your vocals is very high. I got headphones on. It's like, you got like this very deep voice. To where if you were to just slap an EQ on there and cut off your low end, that might benefit you quite a bit. If at first I got AI vibes, I'm not even gonna lie, and I hate saying this for every fucking track that's submitted to this fucking show, but at first I got an AI vibes, but I do see that you have a YouTube channel, and on this YouTube channel you are singing covers, and you got like reels and shit. So no, let's keep it moving. Once again, if I call your shit AI and it's not AI, then that's kind of a compliment. So anyways, let's keep moving.
And I wouldn't care too much with you right here. All I need is your sweet touch. So just lay with me on the grass and the leaves under the starlight dream.
So like right here at this part where you like, I'm not sure how you recorded it, but I almost feel like on this part you step back from the mic, because initially it sounds like you're really close to the mic and you got like, you can hear all the bass and you can hear the sibilance in your voice with the S's and all that. And then on this part, it feels like you went back, and that almost kind of solved your problems a little bit in terms of what I was saying previously, but almost overcompensating for that.
I put my faith in you. You put your faith in me, my darling. There ain't no better feeling. Oh, 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 oh. There ain't no better feeling. Oh, 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 oh. There ain't no better feeling. The story stories you tell become poems in time.
See, did y'all hear that? I'm not sure if you guys are all listen to this with me or not, but that's literally what I'm talking about. Where like the chorus sounded great. Well, it sounded better than the verses. The verse, like it's like you're singing here and then you come right here, then your hair, and then your hair. That's an easy fix. I would say just tilt your mic in one direction or the other, like 45 degrees away from you. That would solve cutting out some of the bass in your voice. But then also too, I don't know, the lyrics are cool. The vocals, I was wondering like what was the accent that I was hearing, and then when I look on your profile, it says that you're from Australia, and it's like, oh, that's kind of what I'm hearing. It's like this like Australian type of like almost Lord of the Rings type of accent, even though Lord of the Rings was shot in New Zealand. They don't really talk like that out there. I digress. The point is that I could hear that in your voice, and I think that gives you a little bit of signature sound. It also says in your bio too that you were trying to, you know, your favorite inspirations are like James Blunt. I could definitely hear the James Blunt in there for sure. And then someone in the comments says Cat Stevens. That's one of your inspirations too, and Bon Jovi. So those are the three big inspirations, and I hear all that in your music. I think that you're a solid songwriter. I think that if I were to focus on anything at this point, like you only have 23 monthly listeners on Spotify, and obviously like Spotify is not the end all be all of music. There's so many different ways you can get money, etc. and so forth. But I don't know. I feel like if you're putting your music out on Spotify or putting your music out on streaming sites, then you should try to push your music while it's on streaming sites. Otherwise, what's the point? You're just hoping that someone listens to it, and you submit it to the heat check. So obviously, you want me to listen to it. But I digress. My point is that I guess what I would advise to you is maybe hit a studio, clean up the songs a little bit, because I think the songs have potential. And when I say clean up the songs a little bit, I would say that like the guitar is a little loud, the vocals are a little clashing in terms of like where the audio's at. You know, small stuff like that. You might be able to do this yourself, but it definitely currently sounds like pretty self-recorded. That's the vibe that it gives off. And maybe that's what you want. I don't know. But you know, hitting the lab and doing a little bit of polishing on that would help. Someone says, or double up on the chorus. That could help, but I think the issue is that, like I said, that you're not listening to. Maybe you are listening to it on headphones, but I'm listening to this on headphones, and the bass in his voice on the verses is extremely high. Like there's just too much bass in his voice. But the bass goes away on the chorus, and it sounds better. So I think he could double up on the chorus just to give it that volume, but then on the chorus, on the verses, he needs to cut that bass. Like say either cut the low end or just record it at the same distance from the mic that you did when you did the chorus. That's just my thoughts on that. I think the lyrics are great. I like that you have the lyrics up here. I think that the chorus is a little generic compared to the lyrics that you have written on the verses. Like, oh, they're in a better feeling. It sounds, I'm saying, it's all right. It's cool. I think it does what it needs to do. But like, yeah, I would say hit a studio and get them vocals re-recorded. And, you know, I've seen that on your YouTube channel. You put in the effort on the YouTube channel. So it's like, I don't know, like what your goal is. And that's kind of what it all comes down to at the end of the day. Is like what your ultimate goal is with the music, right? Like, are you trying to be like the next James Blunt or Cat Stevens? Or are you just trying to play like house parties? Are you trying to like, go on tour? All that kind of matters on how you present your music. For me personally, I'm a DIY artist for the most part, meaning that 95% of the stuff that you see come out from me, I've done mostly by myself. I do have people help me with like mixing and mastering sometimes and get collabs, but I do that angle because that's like part of what I do in terms of like my company and like even doing shows like this, to where like everything I do is DIY. So like I don't necessarily need to go do certain things like hit the studio or go on tour and stuff like that. I would go on tour, but honestly, maybe not. I digress. It's all about goals. What your goal is with the music. Sorry, I'm looking at my Instagram real quick. I'm seeing that John Batten sent me this message. Oh, did you find them? Okay, so we found Neon Corpse Parade. John Batten sent me a link on Instagram. You probably can't see it. I don't know if this is real music though, right? Or this is AI. I don't know. Anyways, we got more songs to listen to. We will solve the mystery of them later. Let's see. Let us see. We have a few more songs here. No new submissions, which is cool with me. Without You, featuring James Crimson. Or by James Crimson, not featuring. You're watching the Heat Check live. Oh.
I carry your life inside my heart. Your memories still burn inside my soul. The curve of your smile haunts my days. Every little thing about you stays. The nights are colder, I reach for you. The silence whispers what we lost is true. Every heartbeat aches with what remains. Every thought of you brings back the pain.
I'm suspicious. Give me a second. Like I said, when I go quiet like this is because I'm doing mad research. We're listening to another song here. This is also James Crimson.
When I hear you call my name.
See, so the reason why I'm thinking that this is AI is because like I listen to this on headphones, and like I say, I use Suno. I have no problem saying that. I use Suno in a variety of different ways. I never put out a full song just like on Suno. I've never done that. As I said earlier, I like to make samples and make interesting sounds and incorporate those into my real music. And one thing that I noticed about Suno, and I think I mentioned this in the previous episode, is that they have this very particular like hissing tinge noise on a lot of their sounds, particularly their synthesizers and their vocals. And I've used Suno enough to where I can instantly recognize it because I spend a lot of time cleaning up samples from Suno on my FL Studio to where I'm trying to get rid of those sounds. And so I hear this song, which is not the song he submitted, because this is a different song. So let me actually go back to the other song that he submitted here, the Without You song. It doesn't really matter because all these songs came out around the same time.
Thought of you brings back the pain. The silence speaks loud without you. All my life did.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe. I'm leaning towards AI on this one, which once again, I hate doing this where I'm just like, oh, this motherfucker's AI. Just calling everybody's shit AI. It doesn't go good for my show where I just call everybody's music AI. But when we try to look this dude up, James Crimson, I find nothing. And let's see here. Did he submit James Crimson official? Let's see. Okay, so he does have an Instagram page, does he? Hold on, this is taking a while to... What I should start doing on these live streams is literally have my window up so you guys can see what I'm looking at. He has an Instagram page, but he literally has the 3 songs. There's nothing else. There's no links. the vibes are very AI ish. So yeah, and John Batten points it out to where it's like I get super suspicious of this music that sounds really too good. Too many layers, too much going on. Because keep in mind, you're submitting your music to like a independent music review show. You know what I'm saying? Like, so what I'm expecting when people submit their music is independent music that sounds like independent music. Like, I know I might critique a lot of mixes, but the reason why I do that is because I'm trying to help independent artists get better at their mix to make it more appealing. So when you submit something that sounds pristine, you know what I'm saying, or sounds like a fucking Disney song with all this production, I get super suspicious because it's like, well, why are you submitting to my shit, right? Like, if you're this good, then you shouldn't be over here worried about my own opinion. You should be signed to somebody, right? Just my thoughts. Just for future reference, because will probably be a thing forever. And it'll probably only get worse. So it'll probably get to the point where more than half the music that's submitted to this will be AI at some point. And hopefully that won't last. James Crimson submitted 2 songs. Fuck. Oh, damn. Darling just say, okay, let's confirm this by listening to this song real quick. I just called this dude out for AI. He submitted 2 songs. Okay. Is this the song that I played last time?
It's true. Every heartbeat aches with what remains. Every thought of you brings back the pain.
Yeah. Pretty sure this is the song that I was trying to listen to. So, sorry, James Crimson. We're just going to keep it moving. The next track is called Algae Bloom. Battle Angel Productions. Songs on Spotify. Lit. Did you submit the file? Oh, you uploaded it.
Better and white. And I remember I won't say your name, but it got lost in the cold.
A lot of reverb in the
Wanted you
vocals.
before I knew I was hollow. Am I no better than a thief or a madman?
You asked for forever, I took what I could carry. Can I steal your pain away? Now I'm counting down with your breath still in my lungs. You never knew, but I whispered your name every night, every night, every night, every night.
I don't know. That sounds like AI too. I'm saying like I said, I'm not really sitting here trying to call every single fucking song AI, but when I'm sitting here listening to these vocals and like I'm looking at like their page. So I'm on their page. Their page is called Battle Angel Productions. They have 74 monthly listeners. All their songs came out this year. Hold on, let me confirm that statement real quick. No, they got some songs in 2025, but none before the Suno era. All their artwork is seemingly AI. Some of it is. That one definitely is. And they got this Asian dude that seems to be like the person that's supposed to be singing these songs. So I think we have. This is just gonna turn into the AI fucking detection show. Battle Angel Productions is a play on Alita, Battle Angel. That makes sense. So, you know, Battle Angel Productions, if you're in the comments, you can defend yourself, but I'm going to lean towards AI. Now, once again, I don't actually have a problem listening to AI music. the issue that I have is when people don't disclose that they're AI. And I think that disclosure comes in a lot of different forms, but I think the biggest form for me is if your entire song is AI, then you should let people know that it's AI. If you're using AI as the vocals, then you should let people know that it's AI. If you're using AI to produce the entire beat, not necessarily all the elements, but the entire beat, you should probably disclose it. I think that AI can be used in certain elements. Like I said earlier, we're talking about generating samples and stuff like that. But when it's not disclosed, it's like, well, what are we doing, dude? And you're trying to pretend that you're not, like that you're something that you're not. And the thing about it is that, like, I'm not perfect with my ear. Like, we're still trying to figure out about fucking Neon Battletoads, where the fuck their name is, right? So it's one of those things where we, especially as an artist, like, I just don't like being lied to with the art. That's what it comes down to. It's not even like the fact that it's AI. It's like, oh, fucking, it's not like, it's not even, like, and see, this is where I get kind of like conflicted, because like, they didn't say it wasn't AI, right? They weren't like, well, you know, it's not AI. They just didn't tell me that it was, right? And if they were in the chat, or if they were in my, like, with me in front of this room, they might be like, yeah, I made this with AI, and be happy about it. But I feel like, and I haven't really know like the ultimate solution, like whether like these distros should like start asking people to disclose if they're using AI. Because I'm not sure if you guys saw what Deezer said. Deezer's a streaming site. They said that something like an insane number of music songs had to get demonetized because of the amount of AIs. And that's another thing about it too. Like, actually, Timbaland using AI right now is very heartbreaking for a variety of different reasons, because Timbaland's one of my favorite producers. But the way that he's using it in terms of like taking like a lot of the songs from people submitted to him and throwing it through Suno and then being like, oh, look what I made. That's wild. And what's crazy about Timbaland too with the AI thing is that, like, what he doesn't seem to understand, because he's rich as fuck and he's already like on, is that the way that they have these streaming sites set up, and particularly with like Spotify, is that there's a pool of money, an artist pool of money, like all the streaming numbers and all the money goes into. And the more streams you have, the more you're entitled to that pool of money. But if AI is taking up some of that, because there's more artists that are AI artists that are coming out every day that's just making fake music, then a lot of that money is not going to real artists who already aren't being paid barely anything. So that's where I think it gets really fucked up. And that's why I think we need like a lot of AI disclosure, because it's not fair. It's just simply not fair for like someone to be able to hop on Suno and generate 40 fucking songs in a day and put them all out with some AI bullshit artwork, and they make the same amount of money that I make on my last album that I spent a year on. Does that make sense? No. Labor costs, at the very least. Shit. But anyways, sorry for that AI rant, but let's go ahead and keep moving. I'm calling your shit AI, Battle Angels. I'm sorry. If it's not, hit me up. And on my next episode, I will say that it's not. Killer Matt submitted last time. He submitted 2 songs last time. He submitted some heat last time. He had some of my more favorite tracks from last week's episode. So this song right here is called Dave Koresh. It says the video is half live video, half AI video. Google Labs, OpenAI song, and OpenAI song and beat and mix are original. Just trying to level up the music with dope visuals. Cool. So did he submit a video? Let me see. Oh, he did. You guys can't see the video, so you'll just have to listen to the song. But also, before I watch this video, that you guys can't see. As far as AI video, I use AI video quite a bit. So if that bothers you, whatever. I'm actually making a whole ass movie coming out here very, very soon. Actually, I'll announce it here first for how many people are in here right now? The 8 people that are in here right now. I am releasing a brand new feature film this Sunday after the Super Bowl for my album, Wishes Are Never Perfect. It's going to be a movie, and I use AI a lot in it. That's all I will say. That's dropping this Sunday. Probably on this channel. Maybe. We'll see. Anyways, I digress. But as far as AI video, I feel way different about AI video because I think that as a filmmaker, and I might be in the minority of this because I feel like there's a whole like stigma behind AI video. I feel like AI video, when used correctly, allows people and artists to do things that they would never ever be able to do otherwise. That they simply can't, especially independent artists. They can't afford to jump out of exploding buildings, etc. and so forth. But you can make some pretty cool, interesting storytelling with that. So I'm a big fan of that. Anyways, I'm watching this song. I know you guys are waiting. I'm sorry. Here we go.
Killer Matt, bitch. Yeah. They got me feeling like I'm they Koresh. They got me feeling like I'm they Koresh. 7 bitches and they want the sex. I'm on fire, call me Waco Tex. They got me feeling like I'm they Koresh. They got me feeling like I'm they Koresh.
The video is wild.
They want the sex. I got some followers, they all obsessed. Call the cash the Messiah, cause it's coming back. Back, yeah, man, it's coming back. Firepower, motherfucker, yeah, we got a stack.
So I really like Killer Matt's flow. It's very simple, but one of the things about a simple flow is that it's not necessarily about like being complicated. It's about understanding the beat in the pocket. And I always think about an interview, I think it was Kanye West and John Bryan when they were talking about Late Registration. And John Bryan was talking about, because John Bryan, he does like a lot of movie soundtracks and orchestral stuff. He was talking about one of the most beautiful things about hip hop that you don't see in a lot of other music is space and the usage of space. Hip hop has a lot of space in it, in between the drums, in between the synths, way more space than pretty much any genre of music. And that allows room for the vocals to fill that space in interesting ways. And so this is an example of that, to where his flow, like he's not coming in here with the double time, but the bam, 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 bam. You know what I'm saying? He could, but instead he found like another pocket that allows him to get into that do 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 do, hey hey do do do, and he's using ad libs and callbacks to, like, you know, make it hot. I fuck with this so far.
Feds coming in, yeah, so we pushing back. Back, yeah, man, we run back. Got some followers who with me and they hold the strap. Yeah, man, we bust back. God and the devil on my side, that's a lot of profit. God and the devil on my side, I'm the final prophet. God and the devil on my side, that's a lot of profit.
God and the devil on my side, that's a lot of profit. I like that bar. I think you like it too, that's why you kept repeating it. But I like that bar. That's cool. That's cool. So far, you're killing it, Killer Matt. Keep killing it.
God, yeah. They got me feeling like I'm Dave Koresh. They got me feeling like I'm Dave Koresh.
So the video is hilarious. So the video, that it's an AI video, and like he's basically Dave Koresh. If you don't know who Dave Koresh is, you can look it up. But he was a guy who was like the cult leader in Waco, Texas, with a bunch of women. Hence, makes the lyrics make a lot more sense when you have that context. And the video is like him with a gun in the building with a bunch of chicks, and they're like bombing the building. It's pretty funny. It's hilarious, and that's what I'm talking about. Like, he would never ever be able to make this video without AI. And I know a lot of people hate on that. They're like, oh, well, you know, you're using 10,000 gallons of water, and I understand that. Trust me. And I feel that that's more of a capitalism thing and a greed thing more than like an AI thing. Like, I do think that we could make cleaner AI. I think there's better, more efficient ways to do that, but we refuse to do so because we're doomed. Anyways, but I digress. The video is sick. Make sure you guys watch the video when you get a chance. I'm listening to the song a little bit more and then move on.
Bitches and they want the sex. Got that fire like it's Waco, Texas. They got me feeling like I'm Dave Koresh. They got me feeling like I'm Dave Koresh. 11 bitches and they want the sex. Got some followers, they all obsessed. Kill it, bow down. It's Killer Matt, bitch.
So, like, I feel like Killer Matt could have benefit from leaning into the comedy rap lane, especially right now. I feel like throughout my history of hip hop and my love for hip hop, there's always been like the comedic rapper at any point in time, whether it was like, I don't know, early on would be like, I don't know, Flavor Flav and things like that. And then you had like, I don't know, like, I'm totally botching this. There you go, what I'm saying. Ludacris is a good example. 2 Chainz, Lil Dicky, Old Dirty Bastard, whatever era, there's always been like a rapper who is comical, right? Who leans more into the comedy more than other rappers. And I'm trying to think like right now, especially with like Lil Dicky like switching to like acting. And 2 Chainz has gotten a little bit more serious in his raps. Like there's not really like a rapper who's leading with comedy. And I'm not saying that you should become a pure, full-on, fucking Kevin Hart rapper. You know what I'm saying? Chocolate drop. I'm not saying you should do that. But what I'm saying is that like this song is funny. You know what I'm saying? Like you have bars in here that are funny, that make me laugh. And I think there's something to be said to that. You know what I'm saying? In terms of the lane that you could potentially carve with that in mind. So there's things to consider, Killer Matt. The song is over, so we will keep it moving. We're listening to the Heat Check. We have three more songs because I'm a baby, and I think I like that because last time we got 42 fucking submissions, and so I want to get a bunch of submissions because that makes me feel like you guys value my opinion, but I'm mostly perfectly cool with doing like 15, 20 submissions per episode. That's a nice, sexy little 2 hours. I like that. But if I'm trying to make money off of this, which, kind of am, in terms of just like providing value to artists, or then also like, you guys taking advantage of the super chats or the skips. No, I get money. I get paid for that. And ideally, I would like to be able to like turn this into another side income and continue to do this forever, or until I get sick and tired of it. So things to consider if you do want to hit that super chat with a little that'd be dope. But also like, let other artists know that like I'm doing this. Artists know artists. Let people know that like there's this guy who every Monday goes live and gives great feedback. And I'm not, like I said at the beginning of this episode, I'm not the only person doing this. And especially with this Nero app, there are a bunch of people who are out there right now who will listen to your music, who are way more popular than me. So, I mean, with that in mind, there might be advantage to getting in early. Like even with this person, John Batten, he's following me on Instagram. He's been participating. He's a day one at this point. And that might work out to his advantage later on down the road. I don't know. But shout out to John Batten. He's next. He submitted this song called Whales. Let's read the description here. It says, a song about my drinking days. Started at 20 seconds. I gotta start at 20 seconds. Can I just play those 20 seconds? I'm just gonna play those 20 seconds. Let's. All right, yeah, this is the Heat Check. Appreciate y'all. I appreciate you. This is going slow shit. Here we go. I had to. So this reminds me of John Frusciante, particularly. This is why I had to go silent for a second, because he put out an album. Let's see. I'm trying to remember what album it was. It came out when I was like 20, like early 20s, and I'm trying to figure out what this album is called, because this is like what I immediately thought of when I heard this song. It would have been, was it Shadows Collide with People? I think it might have been Shadows Collide with People. I think, or Inside of Emptiness. This nigga put out a lot of fucking music. Jeez, this dude stayed busy. He's like AI before AI. Anyway, no. This is all good things that I'm saying here, in the sense that, like, first of all, John Frusciante is really one of my favorite guitarists. For those of you who don't know, John Frusciante is one of the guitarists for Red Hot Chili Peppers. So with Red Hot Chili Peppers, if you listen to a lot of the music, they have like these interesting chords and interesting compositions. And so the composition of this song, which we're gonna listen to a little bit more here, makes me think of like a John Frusciante song. Notice I didn't say a Red Hot Chili Peppers song, because the Red Hot Chili Peppers song is different. That has like the elements of Flea's bass and Kiedis's vocals, and I forget the drummer's name for Red Hot Chili Peppers. But this, like John Frusciante, most of his stuff is like guitar leading type of stuff, because he's a guitarist and a songwriter. So this is what I get off rip. Let's listen to more.
Much to atone, begs for forgiveness, but after a while, the lies in his eyes are betraying his smile. Caught in a trap, in a weapon to spare.
I think this is dope, because I know that the last song you submitted, I compared it to like Tool, and I think you said that you were inspired by grunge, and I'm definitely hearing like the grunge in your vocals, like the Kurt Cobain-ish kind of tone to it. But like I said, the guitar and the composition it's really interesting. Like, I like the usage of drums. The drum usage is very like subtle, but it's still like, I don't think you can make the song without it. Like, I guess you could do this like acoustically, but it adds an extra dimension for sure.
He forgets the regrets that are holding him there. Look in the mirror, what he's become. Waking up from a night of getting way too drunk, reckless and weary, a shell of a man.
Yeah.
Takes another shot.
I'm seeing that Killer Mike said it in the, or so it's Killer Matt, not Killer Mike, sorry. Killer Matt said in the comments that it reminds me of Alice in Chains, which was mentioned last time, and it was the lyrics of the Drowning and Weary, I think is what you say, that gave like that kind of haunting vibe. I feel like if you wanted to lean into that more, you would have a little bit more like edge to the guitars. If you wanted to go that route. But I think that you have an interesting lane that you're in right now, in terms of just like carving out like a traditional old school, like 90s tinged acoustic sound. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think leaning into the acoustics is good. Now, how would you take this to the next level? Honestly, I'm not really sure. I think that, and I know that you follow me on Instagram, so maybe I'll take a look at your Instagram at some point. But I think if I were you, I will lean into like production videos, like behind the scenes of how you make your music. But then also like your songwriting is pretty good. Like, you have some pretty cool lyrics, and I think that you would benefit from like sharing those lyrics in other ways. I don't know like anything about like your merch game or like your live streaming game or anything like that, but those are just ways that I would use to try to get your music out there, because I think unfortunately, you have less than 100 monthly listeners, which, once again, monthly listeners are not a metric of success when it comes to being an independent musician, but they are a indicator of reach. And so I think for you, like, I don't know if you play live to get the BMI dollars up, because you can make solid money from like some open mic nights and playing your songs there, or like hosting an open mic night. It seems that you're a solo artist, so and I might be wrong, but based off your bio, I don't think you work with other artists a lot. So maybe you could benefit from that, like doing like more collaborations. I wouldn't say go start a band and do all that shit unless you really want to, but I wouldn't go that route because that sounds stressful. But like doing some more collabs. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what that looks like in the realm that you're in, or like where you even are from or anything like that, or what your capabilities are, but that's just what comes to mind. You said that merch and live streaming is non-existent. I think merch would benefit you if you figured out, like, I don't like to use the word gimmick, but unfortunately, as being an artist, you kind of have to like lean into something that helps establish the brand. Like for me, and I'm gonna go on a bit of a tangent here. Like when it comes to like what I do, everything has a lot to do with stars and space and astronauts and the abstract multiverses, stuff like that. And I lean pretty heavy on that. And that ties into my music pretty well. Like I don't do like multiverse rap, but like I would kind of say that I'm in the more of a realm of like introspective emo nerdcore more than I am like traditional hip hop. And so tying all these strings together allow for me to like really niche down. My brand is called Starstruck. You're seeing this astronaut that I painted. I painted this sun here and stars. A lot of the stuff that I sell is based around that, like stickers, things like that. So for you, I would try to find a way to like, I guess what I'm trying to say is that like part of my job, what I do as a multimedia artist, is that I help artists tell stories, right? And part of the storytelling is not only just for the sake of telling the story, but it's about building a universe around that story. And the reason why we build a universe around that story is because you can monetize that in a variety of different ways. Like, whether you guys realize it or not, I'm part of the reason why I'm doing this heat check is to attract new people to my music and my art. I have a link to my album in the description that I expect and hope people will click on so they can hear my new album, et cetera, and so forth. And so everything that I'm doing outwardly that you're seeing has a lot of intent behind it. And it's about kind of like tying these strings together that all lead back to one thing, which for me is the music. At the end of the day, the music is the core of everything. Like I make films and write books and do all kinds of shit, paint pictures and all kinds of shit. But the music is the core of everything. And so oftentimes you have to throw out different types of fishing lines to get people back into the music. And so coming up with cool ideas to like really tap into like the aesthetic of your music. And I don't know if this is like all your music is like kind of like on this darker tone or not, but if it is, lean into that, right? And find that. Anyways, we're gonna keep it moving because I spend a lot of time on that. Let me reset this real quick to make sure this is fresh. I bet. So we have 2 more songs left. I think they're submitted by the same person. Travel Through the Nebula, who submitted last time. So that's tight. I like seeing people come back. That makes me feel good because it means that y'all value my opinion. So hopefully y'all will continue to do this and I'll continue to do this. I know we're going to keep going with this for a while. I am going to Vegas in like a month. So the setup that I have is completely mobile. So I might do a live stream in Vegas, but that'll be the only week that I don't see myself doing this. But I plan on doing this every Monday for the foreseeable future. If it goes well, we'll go twice a week. Fuck. Shit. All right. So this song is called Always, called From Travel Through the Nebula. This is the heat check. Thanks for listening. This nigga Rick rolled me, didn't he? Oh, he did. Cool. So he hit me with the Rick roll. So that's funny. But he's in another track. And is this also Rick rolled? Okay, no. So this one says, okay, here's the real deal. Released the album a couple years ago consisting of only covers for film and game soundtracks. Guess what this one's from? Okay, cool. So you do covers of game and film soundtracks. That's interesting. Have I ever heard of anybody doing that before? I don't think I've had. That's cool. Anyways, let's take a listen. This is, the artist name is Travel Through the Nebula. I think I already said that. And the song is called Judgment Day. And you're listening to The Heat Check live. Playful. There you go. Cool. This Halo? No, it's not Halo. Am I supposed to know this? It says Judgment Day, so I assume this is Terminator. But to be honest, I'm not familiar. Hold on, I'm not sure if you guys can hear me. I'm not familiar with the Terminator soundtrack. I'm assuming that it's Terminator because the song is called Judgment Day. So I don't know. But I don't recognize this. I thought that was a Halo at first. Actually, I did kind of recognize this. So this is Terminator. I haven't seen Judgment Day in a minute, so. This is cool though. So I'll say this: there is definitely 100% a lane for this. Like because I'm realizing that part of the things that I'm going to do with the show when it comes to artists is like give my advice on what I would do to get my music heard by more people on top of the feedback. So in terms of like, this is just something that's happening naturally. I'm realizing this now as I'm talking in real time. You guys are witnessing the birth of this thing. The music itself is great. I think we already established that. When you submitted last time, I already established that you have a talent set, right? And so I'm trying to give you feedback that's a little bit more valuable. And in the sense that what you could really do, like if you're doing this whole like covers of different movies and TV shows and games, you should 100% have a TikTok or a YouTube channel or a reel dedicated to that process. Even in the same way that you even presented it, where you're like, guess what the song is, right? And you have like a little live setup, get yourself a little camera situation or use your phone, and it shows you making the song and you're doing it, and you play it, and then you ask your fans and people watching it to guess it, right? Or you just, have the first part of the video be your version of it, and then you cut to what the actual version is with this. Now the problem with doing that is that you might get hit with the content ID if you do what I said in terms of like having your version and then the other version, and you might already be dealing with that depending on how good it is. But let's listen to a little bit more. It's only 2 minutes, 2.5 minutes. Yeah, man, you got, like you said, you got skills for sure. Like, the mix is clean. You got the skills on the instruments. I don't think there's any AI. Thank God. You have a good talent set, and I don't know if you're already like in the realm of sync licensing, which just seemed to be like a reoccurring thing of this episode. But I would look into sync licensing with original music. Obviously, you're not gonna get the Terminator 2 remake soundtrack synced, but obviously you could probably do original work. But yeah, I think in terms of just like getting your music heard, submitting it to me will only get you so far because I'm not famous. But I will listen to just about any music that will come this way. I know there's other people who won't, like they won't listen to hip hop, or they won't listen to rock music or whatever. They only listen to hip hop or something like that. I'll listen to everything, so whatever. But what I'm saying is that, like, in terms of getting heard, if you don't already, start the YouTube channel, or I would start with probably like Instagram Reels or TikTok, because I would try to focus on making like 60-second clips, like on the whole lane of like, guess this song, guess what movie this is from, guess what video game this is from, guess what series this is from, etc. and so forth. That's what I would do. I think once you figure out the setup, the workload won't be as hard as you think it would be in terms of like the workflow, because there's easy ways that you can do this with like using like Instagram edits or CapCut, to where if you're just shooting on your phone vertically and you got the light set up and you're doing the things, and you don't even have to do it live, you can just fake it and put the song over there as an overlay, and maybe shoot it from like a couple different angles, maybe like 5 or 6, 7 different angles. And then you just like, literally, this is what I would do. Camera, setup, or wherever you make your music at, lighting, you shoot yourself making the song, but you don't have to actually play it live. Just shoot yourself doing this, whatever you're doing, for 30, 45 seconds. Shoot that from a bunch of different angles. And then from there, on your caption on the screen, I would put, can you guess what movie this is from? Can you guess whatever this is from? And you would just put that over all the different videos. I would try to have some type of uniformity in terms of like lighting, look, things like that. Do all that. And that would allow you to like basically build a brand off of that, because people recognize it, pattern recognition, stuff like that. That's pretty simple to do. Like, you could literally do that right now in like an hour. That would be what I would do. But yeah, please keep submitting. I know that like I'm gonna probably, like, based off of your talent set that I'm hearing travel through the nebula, like, if you keep submitting music, I'm gonna probably end up just giving you the same feedback about your music, because you have a very, very strong talent set and you figured that out. Your music's pretty good in terms of like just your understanding, your composition, your mixing, what you're trying to do with the song. You have an idea how you want to approach it. I'm just looking at your Spotify numbers and they're weak as fuck. So, you know, how do you increase that, right? You have to really niche down and tap into people who are interested in that stuff. Like people who really like video game soundtracks, people who really like film scores, people who really like that stuff. They're out there for sure. And then just, you know, barrel down with like some simple content that addresses that. With all that said, I think we're done for tonight, kids. We're not going to get any more submissions right now, which I'm actually perfectly all right with. We went live for a healthy, or I guess it's not healthy, almost 2 hours, which is dope. Like I said, this is actually kind of like the ideal amount that I want to do. Mostly because like I'm doing this on a Monday night. I got my wife who comes home like right as I start this show, and I want to hang out with my wife. I don't want to. She goes to bed at like 10 o'clock, so it's like I could do 4 hours, but then I wouldn't see my wife if I did that. And then if I go too long, then or sorry, too short, obviously, then it's not like fulfilling. Like I said, the main goal here, as I said at the beginning of the episode, is that I want to be able to give heartfelt, honest feedback, because I know that right now it's getting harder and harder for artists to be heard. And so my goal here is to make sure that, like, if you submit your music, then I will, as an artist myself, give you my honest feedback and my honest opinion. The only thing I really ask for in return is that you support in some kind of way, shape, or form, whether you're liking and subscribing, or you're sharing the videos, or you're participating in the chat, or you're using the super chat, or you're using the skip feature, or you're letting other artists know that this is going down. Come and try to be consistent about this. Consistency is one of my worst fucking enemies. But I feel like if I have enough support, that's usually what helps me stay consistent. And so, these last 3 shows that we've done so far have done very well. Surprisingly well. Like, I wasn't expecting, I think we already hit like over 100 submissions, or close to 100 submissions on this show so far. So it's like, that's pretty incredible. We've only done 3. And I think that with the momentum that I feel like this will continue to build, we will do some pretty cool stuff. Because like I said, my whole goal is to help artists improve with the little bit of knowledge that I have. Give like some solid feedback if I can. Shoot the shit with other intelligent people who like music and enjoy music. Maybe give some feedback as someone who has operated as an independent DIY artist his entire career. I want to be able to provide that feedback as well. And yeah, that's it. So thank you guys for watching. I see there's like 9-10 people in here right now, but I'm going to end the stream here shortly. I appreciate you guys watching. Like I said, if you haven't followed or liked the video or subscribed yet, please do. Also, if you get a chance, go check out my album. I have a link in the description for my last album I just put out called Wishes Are Never Perfect. It's completely free on this site. I vibe coded this website to where you can go listen to the album completely for free. There's also a link to the book that I wrote, because I wrote a book for this album as well. That's available on Amazon. And then the film that I was talking about earlier, there's a trailer for the film on that same website. There's a merch link there too, if you like merch, t-shirts, shit like that. And then also I made an app too. So there's an app for my album called Wishes Are Never Perfect. And with that app, you can actually listen to the album on there. But there's also an incremental clicker game on there that lets you unlock songs and other fun stuff on there. So if you go to wishesneverperfect.com. Oh, what's up, Nicole? I see you. Hi, Nicole. Appreciate you. You didn't submit this week, but you've been watching, and that's been great. I love you. Appreciate you. Yeah, so if you go to wishesneverperfect.com, you'll find all these links. And like I said, if you are an artist, support other artists. I'm already seeing Killer Matt in there saying he's following and adding, et cetera, so forth. Make sure you guys do that, because that's another important part of it. Like, I'm only one man. So yes, I have a little bit of network of people, just a couple thousand people that may or may not see some music. I will clip up some of this and put it on my Instagram and my social media tomorrow. I guess my favorite clip. I did that last week, and that did pretty dope. But yeah, you guys should network more. I think that's part of it too. I'm trying to be better about that too. Like, I'm trying to network more too, and maybe I will reach out to some of you guys if there's something that I need. But overall, there's no reason why you guys shouldn't be following more. I want to see a John Batten featuring Killer Matt with a Travel Through the Nebula beat happen at some point because of this show. And maybe I'll hop on there and do a verse or something too. Who knows? But I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. I'm going to go kiss my wife and eat some dinner. I appreciate you all. I'll see you all next week. Deuces. Let me push this magical button here. Oh, yeah. Before I do that, I did try to go live on Instagram. at the beginning of the show. It failed. It caused the OBS to crash. I don't know. Question: do you mind if we clip? Yeah. Oh yeah. If you want to take any clip from this episode and put it on your own social medias, feel free. Just tag me in it. You can either tag my company, Starstruck Multimedia, or tag me directly, Jaron Ikner. That's JaronIkner. You can take that clip, just tag me. I'm on all social medias across all platforms with the same name, JaronIkner. So feel free to clip it up. That's perfectly fine. But yeah, anyways, I forgot what I was saying. Doesn't really matter. I'm going to go ahead and get up out of here. I will see you all very, very, very soon. Next week. Peace. Hit the magical button. Bow.
Floating in space, hoping to land. Roll with the universe, go with the plan. Meteor shower, I'm making it rain. Counting my blessings like grains of sand. Counting the weight to make a band. But the money don't make a man. Sanitize, I shake your hand. Capitalize when they take your land. Enterprise, they don't understand. I am the business.